About 7 or 8 years ago, we came out with the Ned Rig system from Z-Man. What the Ned Rig system is it's very small ElasTech baits on very small jig heads, a finesse system designed for freshwater bass fishing. And it's really taken the bass fishing world by storm. That's caused us to think a little bit more seriously about Ned Rig baits in salt water. And that's why we've come out with our new Salty Ned ShrimpZ, a great little 2.5-inch shrimp profile that's gonna get bit in salt water no matter where you fish it. It's got a really lifelike profile. You can see here it's got these really, fine legs that quiver, antennas. That causes the bait to land softly and sink a little bit slower in the water. It's just a great presentation when the fishing gets tough. We're here in South Carolina and it's June right now. This morning we saw redfish running the bank. They were pushing up shrimp, little shrimp. This time of year you see a lot of really small shrimp around, and when the redfish are keyed in on really small forage like that, really small shrimp, that's when this Ned shrimp is a go-to. The other time when we really like this bait is in clear water conditions, really calm, those bluebird days, or in the winter when fish are, very spooky, very lethargic. They're not looking for a big meal, they're just looking for a little snack. And there's a couple of ways I like to rig this bait. One is kind of on a more traditional mushroom style jig head. This is our NedlockZ, which has a heavy duty size 1 mustad hook, a little bit stronger hook than what you'll find on our Finesse ShroomZ, so that's why I prefer it for salt water. But it's got kind of your traditional mushroom style jig head where you can drag this on the bottom, and because ElasTech floats, that tail's gonna tip up, it's gonna stay off the bottom, and it's gonna be really visible to fish as you just kind of scoot it or hop it along the bottom. The other way I like to rig this bait, and this is how we were rigging it this morning when we were fishing around some shell and grass, is on this Finesse BulletZ jig head. You can see this is more of a weedless rig. It's got a bullet-shaped weight at the front and a keeled weight on the belly. So it comes through grass and oyster shell really easily, but when you stop it on the bottom, it's gonna sit just like this. So those are the two ways that I like to rig this bait. One thing that you wanna keep in mind when you're fishing a smaller finesse Ned Rig kind of presentation is using the right tackle. Because you're dealing with smaller hooks, you're gonna want a lighter rod, lighter line. This is a 6'10" medium light, extra fast rod with a 1,000 size reel, 10-pound braid, light fluorocarbon leader. With a setup like this, you can cast these lighter baits a long way. You can get a good hook set, but you got a soft tip, so you're not gonna wrench that hook out of its mouth. You're not gonna bend that hook out. So that's really important when you're fishing a Ned Rig and a bait like this Salty Ned ShrimpZ to match it with the right tackle. Now this is a great bait for a lot of different situations. When the fishing gets tough, the right strategy is usually to downsize your baits, but the great thing about this bait is no matter whether you're a fishing guide, a tournament redfish fisherman, or you're a beginning angler, it's a great bait that's gonna catch a lot of fish and get a lot of bites. We've even fished this thing under a popping cork, just popping it along and letting it sit, and the trout just slurp it up. It's a great way to get kids started with fishing because you're using a small bait, you're gonna get a lot of action and get a lot of bites, and best of all, this is 10 times tough ElasTech plastic that's made right here in the USA. It's gonna hold up for a really long time, catch a lot of fish on one bait. So this is a bait that has already become one of my favorites and found a place in my tackle box. I'm sure it'll find a way into yours as well.